Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I have my wig customization process, and I'm basically showing you how I take a custom wig and transform it from that to this. So if you're interested in this type of video, then continue watching. All right, so if you're going to use box dye for your colors, which is totally fine, you want to make sure that you're combing the hair thoroughly and like saturating every strand that you can get, because these box dyes only come with a developer of like 10 or 20, so it's not going to offer the hair much lift, but it will lift. So just make sure that you comb it throughout, fully saturate the hair, and then we're going to allow that to process. And I think I let mine sit for like close to 2 hours, and then I'm going to wash it out with a neutralizing shampoo. So this is what the color looks like all air dried. You can see the hair still has nice luster, nice body, and it's not stiff. So kudos to you for making it past part 1. Okay, so now as we are starting to bleach the closure, I'm just showing you the products used. My number 1 tip is always make sure your consistency is on point. You want it thick to where it will glide on easily, but not thin to where it'll seep through the lace, because then you will have golden hair on the front of your lace and then you have to go in and correct it. So in order to avoid that, the best thing you can do is always go a little thicker than you think. We're going to slather it on the top and let it process for 20 minutes, but always watch your lace. So as we get into plucking, I just want to say that this part is very customizable to whomever you're making the wig for or yourself. So for me, I'm just using these Revlon tweezers that are slanted, and I'm just going to show you how I go in and pluck. My wigs are intended to be worn throughout the day and then taken off at night, so I tend to not overly pluck because the closure over time will start to lose hair, and because you bleach the knot, that weaken the knot, so hair will naturally just shed. So I kind of leave more than not. And the key, I guess, to plucking is just making sure you don't pluck in the same spot. That's really it. As you can see, I'm just going to be moving my tweezer nonstop and plucking a small amount of hair as I go. And I pluck about a inch back, I guess, until the significant line of demarcation is gone. So that's always my goal, to break up any thick hair, make it look most realistic. So all I do is pluck the hair, not doing it in the same spot, and then part it off and comb it out. So I'm going to do that until I get to the very front of the closure, and then I think we'll be ready for the next portion. Another thing I want to say about plucking is always check your work. The way I do it is I make sure the hair is saturated, and I kind of just push the hair back with my hand, and if it mimics like a real hairline, then I feel like I've plucked enough. So now that we're at the top of the lace, I'm just showing you how I'm breaking up the hairline. And here's where I show you how you create bald spots. So please don't do that. Always keep your tweezers moving. Comb out the little hairs that fall out, the fairy dust I've heard it referred to. And then I'm showing you here how I check my hairline. I'm putting my hand on here so I can push the hairline back. And that's going to mimic when I press my hair out with my wax stick. It's going to give it a sleek look, so it's going to look more like a hairline. So before we get into the cut of the unit, I just want to brush out the mold that I used the mousse on. And then I'm going to start with some face framing layers using these shears. I don't know, or I don't remember where they're from, but I will try to link some down in the description box. So make sure you check that out for details. But I'm just going to start by cutting downwards, basically in the front. I try to start the layer underneath the chin so that way when somebody curls the hair, basically it's not too short and you don't end up with like some weird looking bangs. So once I've gotten that set, I'm going to compare each side and make sure that it's relatively even on the side of the part. And then I'm going to start cutting layers throughout the wig. And then the first thing I'm going to do is comb all the hair vertically towards my body. And I'm kind of going to hold it at a 90-degree angle from the wig, and then I'm going to use the shortest piece as like my guide, and I'm always going to cut down. So cutting down will add texture to the hair, and it will also help with the layering process. So I'm just going to use that part as a guide, and you'll see me go throughout the hair and just always cut down. Always start with small amounts as you cut, and then cut more as you go along. And as stated in some of my other videos, I am not a professional. I have no training on hair and makeup. I just really enjoy hair and makeup. So I'm showing you things that work for me and may work for you on a very basic level. So if this works for you, awesome. If not, please don't eat me up in the comments. But yeah, take your time cutting your hair. It's your wig. This is your creation. So always cut less than you think you'll need. And then, as I've stated before, continue to cut more as you go along. And I'm just lastly going in and cutting off all the stragglers because I hate thin looking ends. So I'm going in, cleaning that up. The hair kind of falls into like a V shape, which is kind of what I'm going for. And then we're going to move on to curling. So before I use my heat tools, I am going to go in with some sort of hair serum. This is the BioSilk Silk Therapy. I'm just using that to add a little bit of sheen to the hair and also serve as a little bit of protectant. I would advise if you use cheaper hair, you might need to invest in a heat protectant so that way you get the longevity out of your bundles. So I'm going to start with that and take like a dime size amount, put it all throughout the hair, and then I'm going to start curling. For my tool today, I'm using my Babyliss Pro, I think it's the 3000, something like that. I'll link it down below. I'm using that to do my curls because I kind of want like a loose wave look in the end. So I'm going to use that to curl. You'll see how I curl my wigs or my hair using my flat iron. And I'm going to set those in place using some duckbill clips. So as I move on to the next curl, I'm going to try to explain what I'm doing the best way I can. So I'm going to take my flat iron and clamp it on my hair as if I am doing like a regular straightening. But instead of going straight down, I will twist the flat iron and pull down as I go throughout the shaft of the hair. And that ends up in a curl. And sometimes that means I have to do it a few times if I want to get a nice looking curl or the curl that I'm going for. So that's what I do, and then I will clamp it into place. And then once we're done with the entire head, we'll let that rest for roughly like 10-15 minutes. I'll do something else, and then we'll take the curls down and comb them out. For the closure piece, I'm not going to show you the entire like curling, but what I am going to focus on is around your closure and around where it has that thick band on the lace. You want to make sure that you are covering that up, and also, because I hand sew my like lace pieces onto my units, I have to make sure that I do a good job of covering up all threads. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing around the closure, around the little U shape. I'm going to take some hair and I'm going to make sure that I hot comb that down well, so that way I cover up all my thread, and I'm going to incorporate the hair that I've pressed out into my curl. And don't forget to use your hot comb to make sure that your part is nice and sleek. Also, make sure that you use it to get that added volume right at the top of your part. And then once I've gotten that set, I'm going to go in and cut off those very thick tabs, so that way the lace will lay as flush as it can for the skin when my aunt wears her wig. So I'm just gonna shape some baby hair, and then I think this will be close to the end of the tutorial. I think I'm just going to uncomb or unclip the curls and then nicely fluff everything out. And I thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope that you learned something today. If this video was helpful for you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you leave a comment down below, and also, as always, you're welcome to come back whenever you like. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye.